Like most ghost stories, Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater is obsessed with trauma, the idea something terrible in the past can affect the present, and so unfolds a complicated story involving 3 protagonists and events that span 3 distinct time periods. There's a lot going on, but it handles these moving parts remarkably well. Over the course of a single night, all 3 protagonists journey up gloomy Mount Hikami, with each expedition revealing more about its sinister history. It's a satisfying structure, and we enjoyed being cast in the roles of both archaeologist and detective. The revelations to come from this 12-hour investigation are dark and extremely disturbing, with murder and ritualistic drowning among the terrible secrets you will uncover. It's harrowing and often troubling to watch, but it gives Maiden of Blackwater a real malevolence, and that's something that we've not experienced in a horror game for quite some time. It's so potent that when we found out a terrible event that had occurred in a particular location, we became much more uncomfortable the next time we had to pass through. Sound design and lighting obviously play an important part, but simply knowing what had taken place here in the recent past was just as potent. There's still a fair bit of backtracking to be done, but the threat of repetition is countered by the suspense of exploring these places with terrible new knowledge. The only protection the characters possess is a camera obscura, a mechanical device which allows you to exorcise spirits by taking pictures of them, an idea the Wii U's gamepad was made for. When you activate the camera, the screen on your gamepad functions as the camera's viewfinder. If you take the perfect shot with the ghost and stray pieces of its soul in view, you inflict more damage. It pleasantly reminded us of an old light gun game, but instead of being tethered to the TV, you can spin around with the gamepad and effectively hunt ghosts around your living room. The general character controls, however, are much less intuitive and precise. This is a game with a lot of tight corridors and small rooms, and it's tough to maneuver with precision. This is all the more frustrating since you'll often want to turn around and quickly put distance between yourself and an evil spirit. Speaking of the gamepad, although the novelty of using it as a camera endures to the end, it can't mask some highly repetitive combat. There's a whole range of upgrades for your camera, which should lend variety and tactical depth, but don't. After some experimentation, we found ourselves using the same lens, the one that dealt the most damage, all of the time. It's powerful enough to render all the others pointless, unless of course you want to deliberately handicap yourself. We really enjoyed the combat system for the first 2/3 of the campaign, and using the gamepad as the camera works brilliantly. It's engaging and fun. But in the final stretch, you're stuck into a succession of encounters where you fight the same handful of ghosts a ridiculous number of times. Early on, encountering drowned shrine maidens is a chilling experience, but by the end you fought so many and seen them up close so many times that their impact is almost non-existent. Even though the repetitive combat lessens the impact of some enemies, there's still plenty of scares to be found. Most of the frightening moments come from exploring Fatal Frame's eerie locations and spotting non-aggressive ghosts just wandering around the mountain. These sinister moments are also eerily elegant, and really make it stand out from most other types of survival horror. Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater is a disturbing tale, well told. While the gamepad brings the series' camera as a weapon concept to life in a way that feels very natural, the combat lacks real mechanical variety. This, combined with the overly repetitive encounters, undermines the impact of its most terrifying enemies. Fortunately, there's an abundance of darkness to be found, with some of the most unsettling and stylish scares that we've experienced in a while. For more on Fatal Frame Maiden of Blackwater, stick with us right here at IGN.